Hello, everyone. It's Beth from Be Styled coming to you live on my Instagram page, maybe for the first time. I haven't been doing this very often. I go live every Tuesday at 1 on Facebook, but I am here for a special reason live on Instagram because I'm going to have my dear friend Jeannie from the Color Guru. She is the Color Guru. Go live. Work. Fingers crossed. You're telling your. Are we there?
Yay! Hello!
It's Jeannie. Hi, how are you?
I'm so happy to see you, Beth. It's been a while.
I know, it's great to see you
We're both
too. And are we
we're wearing
both
like
wearing
purpley
shades
sort
of
of.
lavender? We didn't even plan that.
Totally
I
unplanned.
wish I had a sleeveless top on. I had this sweater on because I just got it and it's been so chilly here in the mornings, but now I'm like
Yes.
overheating.
You're in Rhode Island, right?
I am just for the past, we moved here a year ago down in Newport, Rhode Island. Yeah, we
Okay.
downsized and it's been great. I just living the dream, I have to say. It's been a nice change.
I
Yeah.
was just in Rhode Island in August, at the beginning of August, because my younger brother and his wife and their daughter live there. And we should have coffee next time.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing is far
Absolutely.
away in Rhode Island. I was
No,
going to say, are you close to them? But you're
true.
definitely close to them.
It's so true. And I don't leave. We're obviously Newport's an island, Aquidneck Island, and I don't leave the island.
That's
Ever.
amazing.
Maybe I will
We'll come
someday,
to
but
you.
I'm still in that honeymoon stage where I don't want to leave. Um, But
Amazing.
this is exciting. I was just telling, I don't go live on Instagram very often. I'm over on Facebook every Tuesday for Tipsy Tuesday. So this is a perfect sort of segue into that later in the day because
Yeah.
I know my followers and clients are huge Color Guru fans. In fact, one of
Yay.
my good friends from home just texted me last week and she's like, Beth, can you do my colors? And I was like, sorry, I can't, but I know someone who can. I have some ideas of but and I sent her to you, and I think she just sent her pictures in yesterday.
Awesome.
And she texted me. She's like, Beth, I had to, no makeup. I just exercised.
Yes.
My hair was a mess. She was like, those were some scary pictures, but I was like, don't you
Yes.
worry.
Everybody hates the no makeup picture, but they're necessary for us to really see, your exact coloring. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, in case people are joining who don't know you and don't know about the Color Guru, yourcolorguru.com, could you just give us a quick introduction?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jeannie Stilth. I am the founder and CEO of Color Guru. And basically, we analyze people's hair, skin, and eye color to match them with their ideal color palette for clothing. And we got so many requests for help with makeup and hair that we have now branched out into makeup recommendations as well, and also hair color recommendations for people so they can really get sort of the whole color makeover with us.
That's a big one. I'm someone who struggles with hair color because I'm 100% gray, white, probably even white at this point.
Wow.
And so and I'm not that familiar with the hair color consult feature. Could you explain that to me?
Yeah, so we just kept getting requests for help with hair color, and so I'm not an expert with hair color, and so I hired four hair stylists who contract with us, and they do like 15-minute Zoom meetings with people. So people submit their photos in advance. This is all at the link in our bio, but people submit their photos in advance, and then the hairstylist prepares a whole little presentation for you with ideal hair color, ideal products. They always throw like a cut in there that would be good, for your face shape. It is just like,
Wow.
and it's gosh, now I'm forgetting the exact price. I mean, it's right around $100. Like,
Right.
so it's all
And then
about
I have
you.
a code,
Totally
right?
tailored. Yeah, it's
Does my
really, really
code work with
helpful.
that?
What'd you say?
I was going to ask if my Be
I
Styled
believe
code, does that work on
so.
hair?
I believe so.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
And so, it's tailored just for you. And they also give you the wording to talk to your stylist about what they've recommended for you. So they give you the photos to take to your stylist, and they also give you the wording to talk about it. Yeah, and it's great. People
Wow.
really have really liked that service a lot. In fact, if you look at our feed, we have this amazing before and after hair color photo that we just posted recently, and it is like insane the difference that it made. Like, I think that this has almost like 1,000 likes at this point. Like, it is such
Wow.
a game changer, yeah, to get that
And
right.
I'm thinking, just of course thinking about myself, because being in a new area, I'm, dealing with, I found a good person, but I think it'd be so helpful to have someone who doesn't know you
Yeah,
and who isn't used to you and used to the way you've always worn your hair, to see those
yeah,
pictures and give you ideas that you're, that person who's almost like your sister in the chair sometimes might not think of, or might be afraid to
exactly.
recommend.
Exactly, exactly. Because we do have like kind of a history with our
Right.
hairstylists, right? And they do what they do. And it's just like any habit. It's hard to break out of those habits sometimes. So have a fresh look, fresh take on your hair color is really helpful. And they help with all sorts of things, like if you're trying to cover grays, or like if your hair pulls in a certain, like some people's hair tends to pull red when they color it, and they don't, some people might
All
like
right.
that, but some people might not. And so they can kind of talk through all that stuff.
Right. Well,
It's pretty fun.
as soon as we hang up, or after Tipsy Tuesday, I'm signing up for that.
Awesome.
It's good timing too, because I'm due. I was just putting my powder, my gray coverage powder
Nice.
that I do in between.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
that's news to me. That's great information.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the questions I get from my style system members, who a lot of, I should go and look and see what percentage of the members of my paid program, my style system, have used you, and how it's really made my process with them easier,
Yeah.
because my style system is all about trying to simplify things, right? And trying to create a workable wardrobe that just makes it easy to just get dressed. I mean, that's what it's all about. And talk about color being an important component of that. I mean, if you
Yeah.
open your closet and every color under the rainbow's in there, and you don't know, or you go to a store and you're picking from every color, it's
Yeah.
overwhelm, and that leads to overbuying, over shopping, and not wearing what you own, and not wearing the right things necessarily. Um, so
100%. Yeah. I mean, I was in that boat myself. I get it. Like, I remember before I knew anything about colors, I remember just my closet, and how, like, I would look in my closet, I would try to put outfits together, and I would just be like, I have so many clothes, and like, I don't know what goes together. And then my next thought was, I guess I just don't have enough yet, right? And then I would
right,
just buy more,
right,
and then I'd be more confused. And I love, a lot of people like send us we get a lot of feedback about the color palette, starting with the color palette being like kind of a plan for a capsule wardrobe, because it's a family of colors that
absolutely,
work together. And suddenly you go to a store and everything's not an option anymore, right? Like, and
true,
that is a beautiful thing, right? That is a beautiful thing, because it gives you some parameters to shop with. And suddenly you're like, okay, well, if I have best colors, why wouldn't I just wear those all the time? Like, why am
right,
I going to wear a color that I don't look that great in? And so suddenly you're just bringing all your best colors into your wardrobe. They all coordinate together, which means,
mhm,
if you pick a dress out of your wardrobe, you have shoes that automatically match it. You have jewelry that goes with it. You have a jacket that goes with it. Like, everything goes. And it just, like you said, that's our goal too, is to simplify for people. Like,
right,
buy these colors, they're your best ones anyway. Then you can think about other things, like, fit, and like whether it's your personal style, which I always
right.
think are the three things that's what dressing is about, those three things,
It's so
color,
true.
shape,
Color,
style.
shape,
Just
style,
break it down,
aesthetic.
simplify it, get a handle on each of those, which I know you're really helpful with women, and doing that, and like, get a handle on each of those, and then you can start to buy things you really like and fill
Right.
your closet with things that will sort of stand the test of time for you. Yeah.
And I like the way, I mean, here's my card. I'm a calm summer. I like the way it's you can just see, but it's not that limiting. At first I was like, "Huh, I don't want someone to tell me that I can
Yeah.
only wear these like four colors." Because
Yes.
if you just look around my house, I mean, look at my picture. I'm a color person. and I
Yes.
embrace color. But what I learned when I did it, I forget how many years ago I did it. I realized that the basic colors that I gravitate towards are still my colors, but it's the shade of them.
Yeah.
And I actually have some examples.
Yay.
Like
Oh,
I,
that's great. I love it when you show examples.
well, this is so here. So I've always been kind of a blue girl. Like I
Yeah.
love blue, and I used to wear if I had it like back in my working days. If I had a presentation to
Yeah.
give or a special meeting, I would wear royal
Yeah.
blue. And everyone
Yes.
would say, "Oh, I love that blue," and so you make sure whatever. I like,
Yeah.
but I really think, and then at first I was afraid, oh no, I can't give it my royal
Yeah.
blue. But what did I get instead?
Oh,
Is this shade of blue
yes.
that
Uh,
I just and
cornflower blue.
I mean,
So
it
much
is
better
a
too.
difference. It's a subtle difference.
Yes.
Both are spectacular, vibrant blues, but it's
Yeah.
this wears me, it overwhelms me, and
Yeah.
this just suits me. And I never would have known that without the, real the fine detail that you go into versus just I like bright blue.
Yes.
And I
Right.
like light blue. I mean, I don't think I have a light blue sweater that I would never gravitate towards that color.
Yeah.
And because of you, I got one, and people are like, oh, that blue makes my eyes look bluer than the
Yeah.
bright, deep royal blue. So that's one example. Now I have a question because
Lord. Yeah.
I am a summer and we are going into fall. And it seems like I have a lot of friends who are summers, and we summers struggle with fall
Yes.
because you're going from those cool colors of summer to the warm colors of fall.
Yeah.
And I look around my house and I'm like, my house is very cool summery colors. It's not very fallish.
Yeah.
And there are certain fall colors that I do love, but they're not really my colors.
Like for
Example,
you. Right.
like
Exactly.
camel. And because I'm a classic dresser primarily, I love a camel, you
Yeah.
know. And I did find this, they call this apricot, so I don't know if it's maybe not as brown as a other
Yeah.
kind of
That
camel.
does look
Like
apricot.
it's a
Yeah.
little bit lighter. This is probably still not my best,
Not your
but I
best.
do
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
though. And
Yeah.
I'm wearing pants this color. That's sort of my
Yeah.
compromise. Shoes in that camel
Yeah.
color. But what I did find is this is more of a taupe, and that's
Yes.
better,
That's much better.
right? Do I
So
have
much
that
better.
right? So
So
much
much
better.
better. If you hold them both up, let people see the difference, because that one is so brightening for you. And this other one is making you look yellowy and kind of pulling the color from your face. But look at how the taupe is so much more brightening.
Right.
Instantly your face is brightened. So, and that's a great thing to say, like that you're wearing it like with pants and shoes, because one of the things I want to remind people is that the best place to keep your colors is up against your face. And so some
Mhm.
people, we give them a color palette, like not everybody looks great in black. And some people, we give them a color palette doesn't have black and they're freaking out. And I'm like, look, all that means is it's not ideal to wear black up against your face. Now you can keep your black pants and black shoes and black belts and black bags, like fine, but like up against your face, we're just not recommending black as a great color for you to really make you glow.
Right.
So when you ask though about summers, like in the fall, right? Like it's interesting because a lot of people, what they naturally sort of end up doing is they gravitate towards like the darker and deeper colors on their color card, in the fall and the winter. And then they gravitate to the lightest and brightest colors on their card in the summer and the spring. And I do that too, just sort of naturally. There are 35 shades on your card. So if you hold up your color card again, there's 35 shades on there. And some of the great shades for you for the fall as a summer type are like cranberry, the navy.
Mhm.
You have like a soft navy on there. You have
Yeah.
a gray green that's absolutely beautiful. You've got the taupes.
Yeah.
You've got a rosewood color that is like so pretty. That's like, it's kind of like a pink with like a little touch of brown in it. It's really, really beautiful.
Probably in that.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, that color. And then I think you have a teal on there, don't you? You have a
I
teal.
do. Yeah, like yep.
Yeah,
Here's a
like
question about
all those.
teal.
Yeah.
Is it true that teal is a universally flattering color? I read that somewhere.
You know,
Is there such thing?
there is such a thing. I would say teal is close. It doesn't look great on well, here's what I would say. There's a shade of teal that looks great on everybody.
Okay.
But it's very hard to say like this color as it is in this one version looks
True.
great on everybody. Because you're so right. It's about the shade. Like that royal blue looks amazing on Winters, but on you, it was overpowering you. You need more of the cornflower blue or like the softer baby blue. And those really highlight, your features. So like, a lot of people like you say like they feel like they may be limited by the color palette, but in fact what happens is people are like, oh, like I love wearing blue and now I know my exact best shade or two shades of it. And there are very few colors that people can't wear in any shade, right? So like people say to me all the time about yellow. They're like, oh, I can't wear yellow. I look terrible in yellow. I'm like, no. There's a shade of yellow that looks amazing on everyone, but you've got to get the shade right. Like you in
Same with
mustard,
red, right?
no. Like,
How about red?
Would you say same about red?
I
Yes.
was going to say it's the same with red, right? I mean, red is the hot color of the season, and there are people who say, well, I don't wear red. But red, think about all the colors that fall under the shade of red,
It's like your red is a cranberry, right? Like an autumn's red is more like a red with like an orangey undertone that's more muted. Like a spring red is like a red with an orangey undertone that's bright. And then like a winter red, well, winters have like several shades of red they can wear, but like that true like cherry red, like primary red, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting when you start looking at the different shades. It's so interesting to see which ones. And then you can just walk into a store and there's, I just did a video recently at Target and there was like, a table full of like tank tops. And I just went through them and I was like, okay, like this is the shade that's great for an autumn and this is great, it's great for a spring. And you can do that with your color card. Just walk into a store and if a tank top or a t-shirt comes in 12 colors, you can be like, these are the two that are best for me. Which one do I want? And it just eliminates that decision fatigue. So
I took a picture of my card and I made it the screensaver on my phone. So
yes,
I don't necessarily have the card with me, but I can zoom in and really look at the color. And,
yes.
I do tell people not to get too hung up in being so exact. I mean, and I think the more you do it, the more your eye is trained to recognize that it's close. If it's not, you're not going to do a complete match every time. Can I get back to camel and ask another question, since camel is again one of my favorite colors in the fall. What if I was determined to wear, let's say, a camel blazer, like if I wore a white collared shirt or the right color, I guess it would be white under it, and like the collar, pop, would that help, or is that still?
No,
it would help, right?
It helps because especially because the white shirt's going to be like directly under your face,
right? So
what happens is like our clothing like reflects up onto our face, and you don't really realize it until you look at side by sides. Like when we send people their radiance reports, we show them side by sides of like, look at this color compared to this color, and look at the difference. So yeah, definitely like that's a way to work with some of the things that you have, like. Scarves are great, like a scarf in your color so that you can still wear it. Maybe you have a top you absolutely love how it fits you. It's not an ideal color for you. Throw a scarf in one of your colors over top of it,
That's like, where's my this is not the right color, but a scarf like this is, especially when it gets cooler, it's just a cashmere wrap. And if it was in the right color, you could throw this around your face and maybe even wear black. If you had to, if you absolutely had to.
Yeah.
Or, and I've tried to lean more towards charcoal gray, dark charcoal gray.
Yes.
Especially in like sweaters and things like that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, as I'm looking at this, because this is a wintry sweater. It's called I forget, like Park City. So, but what I've noticed this fall season, is there are a lot of cooler colors that are very on trend. This lavender is very on trend. And that, what's the shade of blue? Like, it starts like something, it's like an icy light blue and you're seeing it in sweaters, in leather, in very wintry material, but it's a cool blue color. So, I think retailers used to just sort of typecast the season like it's fall. So we're going to sell hunter green and brown and camel, and that's it, and take it or leave it. And I think people like you, who have introduced people like me the variety is important because not everyone wants to wear fall colors just because it's fall.
Exactly.
So
It really has shifted. You don't see the stores like chock full of fall colors anymore. There's always variety in there. So it really is shifting slowly over time, but it is shifting for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Well,
my
I don't know if we
gosh.
can tell if people have questions. I don't know how that works. I don't
Well,
know. I don't
they can
I don't
type
want to push
a
anything
question.
and mess up.
They can type in a question. You could feel free to type in a question if you have any questions for Beth or I. Um,
Yes, absolutely.
and we'd be happy to answer your questions. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And so to reach you, they
Yeah.
go to it's yourcolorguru.com, correct?
Yes.
Or the link is in your bio
Yes.
here. Um,
My bio and on Instagram we're at Your Color Guru. Yep.
okay. And
And
I'm at
uh,
b.styled and bestyledbybeth.com.
okay.
That's also in my bio too. Um,
Is anybody on who knows their seasonal type? I'm curious about that.
let's see. How do we see that? I see a
Well,
lot of people.
we'll
Oh,
be able to see. They'll
oh,
type it in and we'll be able to see it.
there's a
I'm
lot of
curious
people
if anybody
on.
here has their colors from Color Guru and knows their seasonal type. Just add it into the comments if you do.
I know you're
Um,
out there,
oh, we got
people.
another calm summer. Oh, and a twilight winter. Great.
I
Such
I've
different
always,
palettes. But
I remember when I first got my colors, I was like, oh, I really want to be a winter though.
did you? Yeah,
I
some
did.
people do.
I was kind of jealous of the winters, but now I've embraced my
Yeah.
summerness.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's
Uh,
better. It's better for me.
it is better. That's the thing. Sometimes it takes a little time to get used to that new color palette.
Yeah.
You have to kind of look at it with fresh eyes because we do tend to buy the same things over and over again. And this kind of breaks a lot of people out of that. But you're still in the habit of sort of seeing those old colors as something that you really liked and some of them, most people do come and know some of their best colors, like a few of their best colors. But this kind of, for most people, opens up a whole bunch of new options in terms of what they look good in that they never considered before. It's very
Yeah.
normal that we see.
And,
Um,
and it takes a lot. I mean, you're looking at a lot of factors. You're not just looking at somebody's vein. I mean, if I see that one more time
right.
on the internet, this is how you know what your color looks. I'm like, what? I don't even know what. I mean, like that's a waste of
They're like,
everyone's time, right?
yes, they're like, oh, do your veins look green or blue? I'm like, greenish blue.
Yeah.
Greenish blue. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Mine
So
too. Yeah.
yeah, we've got Paula. Here's a sunlit spring. That's such a pretty palette. Oh my goodness. I'm curious, Paula, do you see the beauty of the sunlit spring palette? Every time I see it, it's like warm, bright colors, just like, mm. And then uh, this is a great question. Does color change as we get older? I hear this question all the time. It's such a good question. So your colors can change as you get older, but they don't always. A lot of people stay the same season all their life through natural hair color changes and everything. And that's mainly because a good color analysis is based on your undertones, and undertones don't typically change. Like the undertones in your skin don't typically change. Even if you look very fair in the winter and then very tan in the summer, your undertones haven't changed, just the depth of your undertones have changed, right? So like the depth of your skin tone has changed. And that's a very important thing to note. Now, some people, if they're on the borderline of two seasons as they age, this mostly happens with like an autumn who's kind of borderline summer. And in fact, this happened to me as I aged. I was always on the borderline of autumn and summer. My hair used to have a ton of natural red in it. People used to call me a redhead. And now, like the last 3 years, my hair has all the red is almost gone. Like truly, it's just cooled out. Yeah. And often people with warm hair, as they age, their hair gets cooler and cooler. So you'll notice like, kids are like vibrant, like those people with really, really red hair, that like vibrant red. And then as they age, their hair does not stay that vibrant red, right? It like cools. Sometimes it turns like yellowy. But anyway, mine has gotten much, much cooler. And I have jumped over from a calm autumn, which is the closest type to summers, to a calm summer. type.
You
Yeah,
have?
yeah.
I didn't
I'm a
know
color.
that.
Yes,
Okay.
and so I was like, ugh. Of all the people to change season, because it's pretty unusual. I'm like, great, like the CEO of like the color thing
Right.
has to change
And
season,
that's
but
a big change because
explain to people,
you're going from warm to
I'm going
cool,
from warm to
which
cool. Yeah, I'm going
is
from warm to cool.
total change.
My
Yeah.
my super, and
Interesting.
this is my natural hair color, so like my super warm hair used to kind of push me just into like the coolest type of autumn, which is a calm autumn. Um, but yeah, as I've aged, that's changed. So anyway, the answer is sometimes, but not
Mhm.
often. Most people, I would say probably 70 to 75% of people will never change their color palette even as they age. But most often when we do see it happening, it's and summers will never change because they're already the lightest and the coolest. And what tends to happen as we get older is we get lighter and we get cooler. So a winter can jump to a summer type. An autumn can potentially jump to a summer type. Typically, it's people going to summer types is
Okay.
what it is, the trend
So that answers, because my
typically.
question was going to be if and when my hair does go all white. I
Yeah.
always joke I'm not. I'll stop coloring my hair when I become when one of my kids has one of my sons gets married and has a baby, and at that point I could very well be like 90. So
Yeah.
so at this stage we need a girlfriend first in this of the three of them, but that's another story. If I
Yeah.
were to have white hair,
Yes.
would I still be a summer? I guess I would, right?
Yes.
Would I?
Yes, you will.
I would definitely,
Yeah,
yeah, because I
definitely
wouldn't.
will.
Okay.
It's very hard for summers to change to another season as they age. It's almost impossible. I don't know that I've ever seen it. Unless, like, maybe they were a winter, they went gray, and then they're dyeing their hair back to like a winter, a more of a winter color, right? Like, that could potentially, but it's very unusual. Most people will go to summer.
Well,
Yeah. If they
what if I dyed my hair like red? If I did
yeah,
or like had like really warm highlights, which sometimes my hair gets that way. Would that
yes, a
change it? Would that
hair
put
color change is the one thing that can change your color
okay,
season, a drastic hair color change.
right, okay,
Because we don't really have the ability to change our skin tone. I
yeah,
mean, unless you're doing like a fake tanning product that could potentially make your skin tone look like it has yellower undertones than it does. But other than that, and then, we can't really change our eye color unless we get like colored contact lenses,
right,
but we can change our
okay,
hair color and do drastic. Now, I do like to let people know though, adding highlights to your hair almost never changes your seasonal type. And staying within 2 to 3 shades of whatever you had when you got your color analysis almost never changes your seasonal type. But a drastic hair color change, like if you went red, yeah, you might want to look at your color, your colors again and see like
okay.
maybe this has changed my colors. And we are happy to look at people again for a second time. We do that for a lot of our
Oh,
clients. Um,
that's good to know.
yeah, like just if they change their hair color, just like email us,
Okay,
email our support, and we'll like look at your photos again and just let you know if that has changed your color palette.
okay.
Um, this is a great comment. I thought it would be twilight autumn, but never felt like browns, oranges, mustards looked right on me. I was so relieved to be a twilight winter because those colors make me feel energized and beautiful. Yeah, I love to hear that.
I bet I
And
know who that is too.
often the
Sorry.
colors that look best on us highlight, make us feel that way because we can see the difference in the mirror. And so
Mhm.
for me, when I first got my original color palette, I don't know, 20 years ago or whatever it was now, um, I didn't like the colors at first. And then over time, I started to love them. I was like, oh, I feel so good in these. I can see what a difference it makes. And then they became my favorite colors to wear. So we always tell people, like, give it a little time. But it sounds like right away you felt, Shelly, you felt
Well,
really
I did. I was a
aligned.
little skeptical at first, but what I did that I tell my style system custom clients to do this as well with the outfits is the selfie doesn't lie. I encourage everyone to have a full length mirror that they can put in front of a light source with no light behind them and
Yeah.
take a picture of your outfit to see are the shoes right, like, and you can see something that you're not going to see looking in the mirror. I don't know
It's
why, but the same
so
applies
true.
to a facial selfie. And when I first got my colors done, I took 4 pictures. 2 of them were in my color and 2 of them weren't. And I was the same otherwise. And I posted and I said, can you guess? Maybe it was 3. I think maybe 1, maybe 3, whatever. I guess. I made it like a
Yes.
game. And it was very obvious. It was
Yeah.
and Camel was the color. Darn it.
People were like, no.
Darn it. But it's the something about looking at a picture of yourself versus just looking at the person. Same thing with glasses. I was with my husband and he was at Warby Parker trying on glasses and he was like, which is better? I'm like, and I made him stand. I took pictures so that I could go back and forth on my phone, and that's how I was able to see
It is
so much better.
a strange thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? The whole mirror versus a picture. It's so true, though.
So true.
Yeah.
Wow. Any other questions?
I'm looking here. A winter, does it change as you get older? So Martha Jean Maria asks, yes, I'm a winter, but does it change as you get older? So yeah, it could possibly, but often winters stay winters. Typically they do. The vast majority of winters will stay winters. My grandmother's a winter. She's 97. She turned 97 in July, and she's still a winter. Like, she looks so good in that winter palette. And that's a cool palette. The winter palette's cool, the summer palette's cool, and then the springs and the autumns are the warmer colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of family similarities, or not necessarily, like between mothers and daughters, sisters?
You know, not as much as you would think, actually.
Okay.
There's a lot of, especially I think because maybe if we just had the 4 seasons like the old school color analysis did, maybe we'd see more. But when you break it down into like the 3 of each, so we've got 12 seasons total, just for anybody who doesn't know Color Guru, we've got a 12 seasonal types, 3 of each of the 4 seasons. So for example, like Beth is a calm summer, I'm a calm summer, but like there's also sunlit summers and moonlit summers. And there are really distinct differences between those types in the person's coloring that we're seeing, and also in the color palette. Now there is some overlap, like, you know, a calm summer and a moonlit summer both wear like white and charcoal gray, like very well, like the neutrals are very much the same. And there's even some overlap between the other colors on the card, but there are some really distinct differences too. There are some colors that like you can carry off that a sunlit summer wouldn't look as good in, or a moonlit summer wouldn't look as good in. So when it comes to families, we see sometimes similarities and sometimes not. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's probably not that surprising.
Yeah.
It is so much goes into it, you know,
Yeah.
so many factors.
That's right. That's right.
Any
all right. Well,
other questions, I think, and I guess people can message us if they have any other questions that we didn't address today. You know where to find us. And this was so much fun. Thank you. And now I'm going to go jump on Facebook Live to talk about pants.
Oh my God. I love it.
Pants. The most important thing I had to, you know, as far as style goes, hardest and probably the most important. Pants and shoes.
Hardest
are
for
top.
sure.
Hardest.
Yes.
Hardest.
Yes.
So I always say you don't need a lot, but you need good ones.
Yes,
so hopefully people can join me over there on Facebook Live. So, but this was so fun, Jeannie. Thank you for coming on, and I'm gonna get that hair service.
Yeah. That's the link in our bio, and it's great. So yeah, that'll be awesome for you.
All right,
great.
And just a reminder, everyone, you can use code BStyled, just BSTYLED.
Yeah.
For a discount on Jeannie's services. So a little FYI. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.